Hey! Hello everybody, glad you could make it. My name is Kaylee and welcome to another story time. So I have a story time for you guys today and it happened at my shop. So that's Rare Plant Shop offices maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, something like that. But let me just say, I am still pretty embarrassed to walk through my office doors. I'm still trying to erase that day from my entire memory, to be honest with you. So you may have a few ideas on what's probably happened from the title, but let me just get straight into it. Recently, I've had quite a lot of stuff to do in the office. One, I had a huge shipment of plants come in. That was probably about 200 plants, I think. And in addition to that, I've actually moved offices. So I did have an office in the building. I now have another office in the same building. So I've moved within a building, basically. So generally speaking, after a day's work, I would pretty much keep the blinds open and I would let the humidifiers run. Now, if anybody doesn't already know this, the humidifiers I use in my office are actually the same as I use in the house. I will link the humidifier that I'm talking about below because honestly, it's just amazing and it has a lot of cool features. But it just so happens that one of these really cool features got me into a spot of trouble. So anyway, I'd moved all the stock to the new office. My old office was downstairs, the new one is upstairs, so I had to get all the stock over. That took days, to be quite honest. This is just kind of backstory, by the way, and kind of setting the scene for kind of what went down. So anyway, during the process of moving all this stuff, I couldn't get everything just done in the one day. I had to prioritize. So the first thing that needed to be moved was the plants, and then they needed their humidity. The grow lights were actually a lower priority because obviously I had open windows. The plants would still get some light during all this time. So every night when I left work, I would leave all of the blinds open at the front window to let all of the light in, and I would leave the humidifiers running so they had maybe a bit less light, but their humidity and everything else was fine. I had not got the grow lights up yet, so most of that week it was just kind of dark and you couldn't see anything from the outside. But this particular day I had got my grow lights up. Now I left the office at about 5:30 because I had an appointment to make. I actually was going to grab food with Ben from the Tropical Plant Company because if you don't already know this, we've become very good friends in real life, and as it happens, Ben is actually thinking about investing in the Rare Plant Shop because basically this whole thing has become way too much to handle and I need a second pair of hands to help me run it because I am absolutely just maxed out. So anyway, I left the office, but it was getting a little bit chilly because obviously now we're getting into winter. So what I did was I did a little trick that I love to use when I'm even in the house, and I set my humidifiers to warm mist, which means really you can provide humidity for your plants, but you can also kind of warm the room a bit at the same time, which is brilliant because obviously we don't want to use central heating because we don't want any dry ass plants up in here. Now I have the grow lights on. I know they're going off at 7. It's all fine. It was the same case for the other office, but the other office was on the back of the building. The grow lights were on, but I don't know if anyone had even seen the grow lights before, which explains a lot actually, now that I think about it. So I leave work and I go to the restaurant with Ben, which just so happens to be not too far away. Maybe it's about 10 to 15 minutes drive, so pretty local to be honest. So we're getting towards the end of the meal. It's been some time. We're getting ready to get the bill. If you don't know what the bill is, in America, it means the check. I think it's the same thing. You guys have the check, we have the bill. It's the same thing. While we're waiting for the bill, we both each go and do the usual thing that people do and we check our phones. Now, a little bit about my phone. My phone is constantly, it's not even on silent. It's actually on do not disturb because honestly, with Instagram and YouTube and all the other notifications, like I couldn't realistically have my phone on loud anymore. It's really not an option. So if someone needs to get in contact with me, basically I don't hear shit. So I go and I look at my phone and I see a missed call. Not only do I see a missed call, I see a text message from a number that I've never even seen in my phone book before. So it comes up as a new number. The message turns out is from Donna, who is the building manager for, my office and everybody else's resident office in that building. So she manages pretty much everything. So I get a text message from her basically saying, "Hi, a few people are concerned because it looks like there's smoke coming out of your office." And I thought, smoke? What do you mean smoke? Now Donna knows full well that I run a plant shop and it's more than likely to be steam. So she does say in her message, I thought it was probably steam, but I thought I'd contact you just to be sure. And I was like, haha, it is of course steam. Don't you worry about a thing. It is water. It's okay. There is no fire here. Everything is absolutely fine. I message her and I say, yeah, honestly, it's just steam. I've just left the building. And I proceed to tell Ben, basically, haha, I've got this message from my building manager, basically saying, yo, there might be a fire. And I'm like, haha, no, there isn't. It's steam. No problems here. And for the next 3 minutes, it was all going really, really well. Everything was fine. And then I get the following message. That escalated pretty quickly. So literally in 3 minutes, we have not one but 2 fire engines that are apparently arrived. Despite the fact I've said it's steam, despite the fact I've said everything is absolutely fine, there's no fire, everything is cool, please can we all chill. So now we have 2 fire engines rocking up at this huge building, obviously because they think it's going to be a large scale fire. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've just plugged the grow lights in. What if there is a fire? Like, what's going on? Okay, this is really serious. We need to go right now. No sooner have I said this, but I get another call from Donna yet again, and I can see it this time because I have my phone in my hand, and she rings me and she says the following. So she calls me again. She's like, I don't know if you know this, but there's 2 fire engines. And then she pauses and she said, oh, wait a minute. I think there might be 4. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? 4 fire engines? 4 fire engines. 4. And she's like, yeah, you know, there's a lot of people, they're trying to get in. And I was just like, oh. And then I thought, well, how do you know that any of this is happening? And it turns out she can actually see what's going on from her house. So she got home and she can remotely log into the building's CCTV and she could see everything that was going down. So I've just sat there with Ben, and the check comes and we're like, okay, gotta go. I mean, I'd had the hot steam on before, okay? I've done it before, but because the grow lights had never been on before, you probably, you know, you wouldn't be able to see anything in the building. It would just look black. You wouldn't even know there was anything going on in there. But now that the grow lights were on, obviously, I think this has frightened a few people that don't happen to know, you know, that I own a plant shop there, and that's kind of what's going on. So we tell Donna, you know, we're on our way, it'll be about 10 minutes, and we set off and we go. A few minutes later, we get near the office and I pull out my phone and I record the series of events as we arrive. Now, I'm gonna say something here, and I don't really know what you guys actually think of maybe what I'm like in real life, but in real life, I actually do curse quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do. It's actually sometimes a little bit difficult to not curse in my videos. Sometimes I've cursed, sometimes I've edited out. You know, it happens. We gotta do what we gotta do, right? But in real life, however, there was no editing out. I was basically having my reactions at the time, and I was speaking to Ben in the van as we were pulling up. So disclaimer, I have bleeped out any swear words that are occurring between me and Ben.
Well, they'll be in. I can virtually guarantee that they will be in, I'm sure.
What, you think they're already in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to dick about it. They don't fuck around waiting for a fucking house to go up, do they? Smash the doors down and they're in.
Why don't say smash doors? I'm not paying for new fucking doors.
Well,
it's not happening.
Woo, woo, woo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, boy. Lights are on and it's pink as fuck. Look how bright it is.
Oh, it does look like smoke, you know.
There's 4 fire engines, never mind. 2 of them.
Oh no.
Oh, dude.
Oh, this isn't good. Okay. Now then, can I just say, there aren't definitely not 2 fire engines, there are definitely 4 fire engines from what I can see rocking up. That much is very, very clear. Not only that, but if we freeze frame the moment that I rock up, you can probably see at the top of the steps there's approximately 4 or 5 firefighters waiting to get through a set of double doors that then leads to the corridor that then leads to my office. There must be about 10 firemen just in the foyer of the building. And that's not even counting what's going on outside. Also, these are the glasses that I should have worn at work for the past 2 years, but haven't. So my vision is low-key blurry. So in the video, when I rock up, you can probably hear that I'm pretty damn concerned. I'm not feeling great, I'm feeling pretty embarrassed because I know, I can see by looking at it that is steam, that is water. It's not fire, it is the opposite of fire, it is water. I'll insert the super quick clip that I took, I think like 2 days later of, you know, outside my office in the dark, just so you can see what that would have looked like. I think my humidifiers at that point were actually set to cold mist, so you can't actually see the bellowing, you know, smoke coming out of the window, but you get kind of an idea of how much this whole shop was just illuminated like a big beacon, like across the entire building. It's just this one, you know, room that's lit up. It's kind of insane. I take their point, I really do. I must take this moment right now to say a couple of things because I don't want any of this to get twisted. I really don't. What I want to say is this: there was no fire. There was no danger of a fire. It was water. It was the opposite of a fire, if anything. I didn't call the fire service, somebody else did, and obviously they did this in good faith, and I can't blame them for that. Now, I'm not mocking the fire brigade or the fire service or whatever you want to call them in any way, shape, or form. I'm really not. But honestly, if you can't see the funny side to this story, you're in the wrong place. Okay, just gonna say it. You're in the wrong place. I'm very sorry. I found this funny in hindsight. I know I'm not the only one. Everybody I told found it funny. Even the fire service found it slightly funny. So I just wanted to say that super quickly, and I will probably repeat that later on as well. You know, I'm not making a mockery out of anybody, but this shit was really embarrassing and kind of funny. Not only that, but to be honest, I was reasonably stressed throughout this experience, but I know that Ben from the Tropical Plant Company isn't quite the same as me. He kind of sees the funny side generally to do with everything, to be honest with you. Like, I'm a very highly strung person. Ben is not. Ben is very easygoing. He'll laugh at pretty much anything. He'll find the funny side or the nice side of pretty much anything, and I definitely think that comes across in this video quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, boy.
But anyway, back to the firemen. So the firemen could not get beyond these two double doors because there's actually quite a lot of security involved. Basically, you have to bleep in through the doors, and obviously there's another key to get into my office, so you can't really get past the foyer unless you have the proper access. I would actually, by the way, love to thank Donna, the buildings manager, for actually providing me this CCTV footage, or to be honest, nobody would even know what had gone on. So thank you very much to Donna for providing that footage, and please, show your love for her in the comments. Anyway, let's take a look at some footage, shall we? Oh, and like any good CCTV footage, by the way, this footage is obviously taken from a silly angle and it's basically ass quality, so please do not blame me for the quality of the CCTV footage. I did everything I could to even possess this footage, and trust me, it took about a week to even get a hold of the footage. But yes, I know the quality is, it's CCTV, come on. So it looks like at the start of the, experience that we're all having, the start of the commotion, it looks like somebody called the fire brigade and one guy rocked up in a car, from what it looks like, and it's sort of like makeshift. I'm guessing he just was the first one to, respond to it because he was closest. So he rocks up in his car. There's a few people around the car, maybe they've called the fire service. I'm not really sure at this point. I have no information as to who's called these guys, whether it was somebody in our building, whether it was somebody in a building opposite, because you can actually see quite a bit from the opposite building. I could easily wave to somebody else in the building opposite if they were, like on my level, so to speak. On my level, that doesn't sound right at all, does it? You know what I mean? So over the course of a few minutes, we can see that the first fire truck rocks up, then a second, then a third, and a few minutes later, just for, good measure, a fourth fire truck rocks up. 4 fire trucks. So from inside, it looks like the cleaner lets in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 firemen into the building for my steamy situation I've got going on in my shop. I can see one woman frantically walking around. I think she's dressed in black there, frantically on her phone. I'm assuming they're both trying to get the keys now to at least get through the double doors if they can't even get all the way to my office. I don't actually know if there is a spare set of keys to my office. I imagine there 100% is for safety reasons, for reasons such as these, but the building manager is not available. I don't know if the lady in black there is on the phone to the building manager or what. I actually have no idea what's going on. Firemen are looking pretty puzzled, it's gotta be said. They're probably thinking, I don't know what we're here for. How are we going to get up? What's going on? We can't get through the doors. Still got the cleaner over here on the right, giving a good old fumble for the keys, which I'm guessing she still hasn't found. Oh, and there's the other woman there still looking for the keys. So no one's found the keys yet. I can only assume here by the fact that they look reasonably chill, that they do know the situation, but I don't know. There's a lot of firemen. There's a lot of people walking around. Guy just walked in now. I have no clue who that is. I've never seen him in my life. Can I just remind y'all, these firemen have come here for water. The opposite of a fire, they're here for water. This is getting very embarrassing by the second because I have to rock up and speak to these people. I have to speak to all these firemen. I have to speak to all the people outside and say that I'm responsible for this mess that's shining like a beacon out of my office. So you can see the firemen all standing there just wondering how the heck they're going to get in there because they don't necessarily want to break down the door, I assume. I mean, my worry was, of course, that they were going to break down the doors because that's what Ben said to me in the car, so I'm now paranoid. I'm still on my way here, remember, thinking that people are going to break down doors. But if these people really think there is a fire, they will not hesitate to break down the doors, and that bothers me for a few reasons. I mean, I've just quit my job. I don't want to pay for new doors. How much do doors even cost, Who pays for the doors in this situation? If I didn't call the fire brigade, but then they come out because of me, but I clearly didn't do anything wrong in the first place, and it was somebody else who was misinformed. They bashed down the door. People are angry at me. Do I pay for the door? Does fireman pay for the door? Does the building pay for the door? Who pays for the doors? Plus, how many doors are going to get broken? Because really, you've got the 2 double doors, so if they're nice and they just smash one, then I have to replace that one half of the double doors, and then after that, they have to smash down my doors in my office, and then I have to fix that door. So now we're up to 3 potential doors that I might have to pay for, because I don't even know what information they have yet, because this is all happening so fast. So I'm I'm pretty stressed. I'm stressed even, reliving this whole experience, to be honest. I'm a person that gets stressed very easily, so I'm feeling, whew, okay. Let's just have a little break. Caffeine, that'll help me calm down. So a few minutes later, me and Ben obviously arrive at the office, and this is kind of the external view to match the internals of what you saw me recording. So as you can probably see in the footage, Ben gets out of the van, he comes around to my side to help me get out, and then we walk into the building. So we enter the building and we immediately proceed to head straight up to the stairs to the floor which my office is on, because obviously I have the keys in my hand, I have the access. I am feeling pretty damn embarrassed, and you can totally see this on the footage. My face is not a happy one, let me say that. As you see here, I'm not supporting my usual attire that I probably would, in videos, everything else. My hair is not down, I have no makeup on. I have, if anything, I've got some serious roots on there. There's like a nice big stripe where I just need to colour that. So I've gone for a more casual, stressed chic in this footage, I would say. This is very different to my usual videos. I've gone for a sweater, by the looks of it. No makeup at all. Hair tied back. The whole look just really screams the truth of the situation, which is, I've just quit my job. Please help me. Help me. Help me get through this, please. So let's see a close-up of my worried little face. Now I know it is blurry as heck, but you can obviously probably see I'm not feeling the best about the situation. I hope that actually conveys my stressed general demeanour walking through that building. Let's take a little look at Ben. As I said, Ben tends to see the funny side much quicker than I do in situations like this. And I think that is clearly demonstrated here in this footage. So we get upstairs and we immediately speak to the firemen at the top of those stairs at those double doors that they can't get through. We let them through the double doors, I take them to my office and I open the door and I just let them at it. I just let them inside because I'm just like, please God, please realize there's no fire. I'm so sorry. Let me hide behind something that's, got a big enough leaf. So I let in the fire brigade to my office as soon as humanly possible. I open the door and I just basically just let them in. I don't even go in. I stand in the corridor. Ben's kind of at the door speaking to them. Now I did kind of film this, and I didn't necessarily want to. My plan was actually just to take the audio from this. The camera is pointed down at the floor a lot. So if the camera is just not in a good situation, that is honestly why. But you kind of get the gist of what's kind of, gone down. I'm too stressed to even deal with these people, so I let Ben just take the full force of what's going on, because I thought, you know what? I'm not having a great week. Ben can deal with this if Ben thinks it's so funny.
Yeah. I think you've got it right. Yeah,
I think we'll do that.
Totally, yeah. To be honest, we didn't even realise. But yeah, no.
Is it the first time you've had them on today?
It's the first time we've had the grow lights on, I think, tonight. So obviously then it's, you can see it. I don't know, it wouldn't go off anyway, because it's staying, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't have gone off, because it's staying.
They can set it off.
Yeah. Does it?
Yeah, they can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, I'm assuming you've got to come anyway, haven't you? Get a call out. So apologies, lads.
Lady who's pulled it in, she's done it with the right intention.
Of course, it does look, just driving
to be fair, we pulled up and I was like,
So will you leave that way to sort?
Of course, no worries, we'll draw blinds and happy days. Thanks lads, sorry about that, you might not be together. There you go.
Cheers.
Right, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Ben speaks to the fire brigade and basically explains, don't worry, it's water, go confirm it, lovely steam, beautiful humidity, it's water. It's okay, everything is okay. We explain, the firemen check it out, the firemen leave, Ben lets them out through the double doors because obviously they can't get out without us letting them out, and the embarrassment is almost over. All that needs to happen now is for the firemen to just quietly leave, and hopefully we can start forgetting about this embarrassing incident. So I walk to my office, I get Ben to put the lights off, and I go and I start filming the outside of the building, because by this point I 100% know that I'm going to tell you guys all about this, and I thought, you know what, the more footage the better.
So I can't miss an opportunity for a story time, dude. I'm really light on the ground for content.
And kind of that too, to be honest. And that was my Humidi-fire story time. No doors were harmed in the process, thank heavens. I don't even know how much that would cost. I should really check what happens in that situation. I have a strong feeling that I would pay for the doors. Maybe I should just ask. So now I make sure that my blinds are closed when I leave the office. I still put my humidifiers on hot mist. I still use the grow lights, but I still make sure my blinds are closed to make sure that stuff like this doesn't happen again, because obviously I don't want to waste anybody's time. That is, not a good thing at all. So anything I can do to minimize that, that's obviously what I will always do. It's funny actually, because after this happened, I hopped on WhatsApp and I told one of my best friends, Scott, all about this on WhatsApp. And I said, yo, I'm gonna do this as a story time. Why not? It's bonus content, right? And he immediately started thinking of video titles. And I've got to say, Scott, you really, really nailed it with humidifier. So I thought, you know what? I'm taking that and I'm using it. So thank you very much to Scott for the title. Not only that, but thank you very, very much to Donna, the building manager that actually supplied me with all this CCTV footage so I could actually work out what even happened in the first place. Plus now we've all seen it. We all have a memory of what not to do with grow lights in your office. I'd also like to sincerely thank the fire service and anyone else that was involved in basically just taking swift action against this. Obviously this whole thing, there was no danger, it was water, there was no fire, it's all been misperceived and someone in good faith has called them. So thank you very, very much to the person that called them, because you did the right thing. And thank you very, very much to the fire service that rocked up and dealt, with all of this. Also, thank you to the fire service for actually being really nice and not being angry with me or anything of the sort, because it would definitely seem to me from the tape that they understood that things like this happen all the time and it's better to be safe than sorry. So I will say it one more time. I am not making fun of the fire service or any of the other individuals involved in this video, in this story time, in this sequence of events. I'm very, very thankful that you all acted promptly when you did. I'm still embarrassed though, and I think I hold the right to be embarrassed because I've never had 4 fire engines being called on me before. So that's new, I suppose. So I really do hope that you can have a giggle with me and see the funny side to this story. I know I do. I do in hindsight. I didn't at the time, but I do now. Thanks guys for letting me make, the video that I wanted to make this week. I really, really wanted to tell you guys about this. So thank you very much for listening. I hope it was entertaining. I want to say really quickly that I actually really love telling stories. It's probably one of my favorite things. However, I probably have loads of stories to tell you guys. The problem is they're not all plant related. So let me know in the comments if you'd want to only have me tell plant related story times or tell you basically any story time, and I can kind of work that in, because I don't always just want to do videos about houseplants. I'm just gonna be real with you for a second. I don't always want to do videos about just houseplants, just how to take care of them, just what's rare, just this highly informational stuff. I have so much more that I want to do on this channel, and I accept that maybe people don't want to stick around for that. That's not what people signed up for. But honestly, please leave a comment and tell me your honest opinion on, what kind of content you'd like to see, because I'm not going to come for anybody, by the way. Please don't think I'm going to attack you if you say I don't like anything other than your informational stuff, or I don't like anything other than your plant indexes. I'm not going to come for anybody. I genuinely want to know what you guys want to see, because there's a lot of videos that I would love to do, and I keep second guessing myself, and I keep thinking, well, people aren't going to like that. People are going to unsubscribe. They're just not here for that. So I would love to know what you guys think. I'm going to go now because I probably talked way too long, and I think I probably shouldn't have caffeine so much when I film. But I will see you next week. I love you all very much, and have a great weekend, guys. Oh, and t-shirt. Yeah. Bye.